And Mr. Ambassador, thank you for being here with us on the 700 Club.
Thank you for having me.
What do you think this election is going to mean in terms of Israel? Is it, you have any predictions, or are you supposed to predict on those things?
Well, I'm supposed not to talk about those issues. We are all celebrating the fact that Israel is a great democracy, an ally of the United States of America. We are going through this process just as America does. And I am sure that whatever comes out of the elections, you'll have an Israel that is a strong democracy, peace-seeking, defending its security, and the great ally of America.
Well, that encourages us all. Let me ask you, with this recent war against Hamas in Gaza, apparently they're still firing rockets and they're still using tunnels. Did Israel accomplish its goals or not?
Well, what brought us to have to engage in Gaza was a constant attack on our civilians, which took place for years, and 8,000 rockets were launched at our civilians, creating a lot of damage and a lot of fear and terror, and we had no choice but to react and to try to restore a level of deterrence and try to prevent the rearming and resupply from Iran that is trying to build a terror base on the southern border. So we acted in self-defense, and we hope that this had been enough and that we would not have to take further actions in order to protect our civilians.
Do you suppose the people of Gaza understand that Hamas was at fault in this? Do they blame Hamas for these actions?
You know, I hope that over time they will understand that, you know, we are using weapons in order to protect our children. They are using Palestinian children in order to protect their weapons. And I hope that over time the people of Gaza will understand that for their future and for our future, for their children and for our children, they need to stop terror. They need to recognize Israel and be ready to sit at the table and have a compromise and have peace between us and them.
Well, it looks like the driver of all of these things against Israel is Iran. Hezbollah on the north and Hamas in the south and maybe Syria on another coast. What do you think? Is there any possibility of making an arrangement with Iran, or are you going to have to ultimately attack some of these nuclear facilities?
I think that this is the most serious threat that is facing the Western world. Iran today is the largest exporter of terror worldwide. They are developing nuclear military capacities. They've just demonstrated their work on ballistic missiles. And if they are not stopped from pursuing their nuclear program, our children may face a nightmare. So I cannot think of a more important challenge to all people who want to make or keep this world safe for our children and grandchildren than making a concerted effort to stop Iran from pursuing their program.
What is the inside word on how close they are to achieving a nuclear bomb?
Well, first of all, the sad news are that every day they're getting closer. They're producing some 2.5 kilos of low-enriched uranium, which is the necessary ingredient for a bomb, every day. They are now close to around 800 kilos. Sometime in 2009, if not stopped, they will have enough quantity for a first bomb. They are moving forward. Time is running out. It's essential that the world gets the act together very soon in a very serious way to impress on the leadership of Iran that the world is not going to acquiesce with such a threat, with the nightmare of the potential of having the nuclear coming together with the terror and threaten every city, every port in the entire world.
When I was over there a couple of years ago, we did some man-on-the-street interviews. It seemed like the people were not as concerned about security then as they seem to be now. And that seems to be the uppermost thought in the minds of the Israeli public as they go to these elections. Does the population appreciate the danger that Iran's nuclear activity poses?
People are very much aware of the danger of a nuclear Iran, and no Israeli wants to live under the clouds of a nuclear Iran, because it won't be rain that is going to come out of those clouds potentially. And not only the people of Israel are aware, this is what we hope that friends of Israel, first and foremost the people of the United States of America, will share with us, not only as a matter of a concern, but as a matter of a highest priority agenda item, to make sure that this enormous threat does not materialize itself. And by the way, it's not only about Israel. It's about Israel. It's about the entire area in which we are living. But it's about the world, because the moment nuclear comes together with terror, you don't want even to start imagining how devastating the impact could be.
Ambassador Meridor, thank you so much. Please come back and see us again. We appreciate you being with us on the 700 Club.
Thank you for everything, and our hearts are with you, as I know that your hearts are with us.
Without question. Thank you again.